exercise you get. We hope that this program will provide you with the necessary tools to improve the quality of your health and lifestyle. I am Dr. Mariam Abdul Richards, and this has been Caribbean Medical TV.
It's time to gift your home with style from Tidua Furniture that will suit any occasion, with prices that are unmatched with the quality of our furniture and comfort that will have you feeling like royalty. Make Tidua Furniture your next stop. Located in the Wonks Plaza, Madera Street, telephone 325-4250 and 325-4252. Tidua Furniture, where style, price, and comfort has no limit. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
In just 50 days, we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary of independence. And on Sunday, March 21st, an ecumenical service at Evangelistic Temple set the stage for this momentous occasion. Leaders from all Christian denominations gathered to pray for our nation, highlighting the unity of our faith community. The service witnessed the participation of Governor General, the Honorable Cornelia Smith, Prime Minister, Right Honorable Philip Davis, and Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Michael Pintard, emphasizing the significance of our Christian heritage and values. The Bahamas Brass Band and Bahamian gospel singers filled the air with praise through music, while heartfelt prayers were offered for our families, the future of our beloved country, and our youth. This solemn moment allowed reflection on our journey of the past 50 years and inspired hope for a prosperous future. Ultimately, this prayer service was a reminder of our connection to a great God and a more hopeful and prosperous future. You're watching the Independence Beat. Stay tuned for more.
Hello, I'm Mario Nuri. As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Bahamas' independence, we reflect on the progress made regarding hurricane preparedness and the importance to prepare for the coming years with special guests, Therese Curry, President of the Bahamas Red Cross, Captain Stephen Russell, meteorologist Wayne Neely, and Mr. Charles Johnson of J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers. Do join us for another impactful show.
The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th. When a hurricane alert is issued for your area, which indicates the possibility that you could experience hurricane conditions within 60 hours, you should begin the initial stages of preparation for the storm. When the storm is 48 hours away, a hurricane watch is issued. Once a watch is issued, be sure to get updates from the Met Office via television or radio. Get your battery-powered radio ready. Keep your emergency supply kit, blankets, and sleeping bags handy, and keep children and pets indoors. Be sure you have extra cash and a car tank full of gas. Fill all prescriptions. A hurricane warning means that a storm with winds up to 74 miles per hour or more is 36 hours away. At this point, secure all windows with shutters and plywood. Place your valuables in a waterproof container and store them on the highest floor in your home or in the safest area. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, a state-recognized service was held earlier today to honor the late Albert Dillette, a renowned broadcaster, public relations specialist, and a former Consul General of Toronto. Dillette's family, government officials, and armed forces were all present. Our Ajaquant was there and has tonight's top story.
A somber reflection of the life and times of Mr. Albert Dillette here at the Pro Cathedral Christ the King Church. Many gathering to mourn the loss of the former broadcaster, public relations expert, and Consul General of Toronto, Canada. The atmosphere of reverence and a deep sense filled the room as family members and dignitaries, including the Prime Minister, filled the church to bid farewell to a man called a true visionary and a nationalist. Alana Dillette among those paying tribute, reminiscing on the stories told by her father.
He was a man with many tales. He told me many times about the baby blue suit that he wore while broadcasting during the first Independence Day celebration in Clifford Park. He was an incredibly proud Bahamian and committed tirelessly to making this country a better place.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, describing Dillette as his business partner, colleague, and friend.
You wouldn't think that when you look at him, because he's such a jovial, engaging, courtly man, but he had strong beliefs and never wavered.
Throughout his life, Albert Dillette used his voice to inform, inspire, and connect people from all walks of life. The diplomat's extensive career in media and his unwavering dedication left an incredible mark on the city he called home. Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, now extending condolences on behalf of the nation.
On behalf of a grateful nation, I extend our heartfelt condolences to you, Catherine, your sons Adam and Robert, Alana, and the grandchildren on the passing of a great Bahamian, a good friend, and a passionate soldier for progress.
Canon Norman Lightbourne delivering a powerful and strong message, reminding the family that great is thy faithfulness.
That despite what you're going through presently, despite your sorrow, despite your loss, despite your grief, despite your pain, God is faithful. And he will help. He brings you to it, somebody said. He'll bring you through it.
Al Dillette is survived by his wife, 3 children, 3 grandchildren, and a host of relatives and friends. He was 69 years old. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ajaquant.
Well, Senator Kirkland Russell and friend of Al Dillette, Kevin Tomlinson, both reflecting on the contributions of the former diplomat, who they describe as a giant of a man.
He was a quiet giant. We know him on his days at the radio station. We know him as being one of the finest writers in this country. But most people don't know that he was a strong advocate.
Al Dillette was a mentor, a friend, someone who has been in my life from I was much younger. And, you know, today was a bit surreal.
Now, both Russell and Tomlinson say Bahamians like Dillette should continuously be celebrated for their contributions to the country.
We need to start celebrating more Bahamians like Al. You know, I was quiet behind the scenes, but he was very effective in many different ways. And so celebrating him, not because he was of a political party, but celebrating him because he was a great Bahamian.
He would have contributed to the life and history of our country as we celebrate our 50 years. Al Dillette was one of those persons who we ought to continue to celebrate in the Bahamas. He was a fine example for what it means to be a great Bahamian.
Well, the Grand Bahama Port Authority stating its position following Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis's charge to address the concerns raised by the people of Grand Bahama and the international investment community. By way of a press release, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is assuring that it remains steadfast in its commitment to the ongoing development and resurgence of Freeport. Aja Kwan reports.
Romiko, it's pretty clear the Grand Bahama Port Authority is firing back tonight at the Prime Minister's comments regarding Freeport during his 2023 budget communication. The port now expressing that they continue working to strengthen the economy and improve the lives of all Grand Bahama residents today and for future generations. Now, the statement going into deep explanation on the initiatives that the port has ongoing, which include the new Carnival Cruise Port, the Royal Caribbean, ITM and MSC Cruise Port, a $250 million world-class hotel, residential and luxury resort under the Weller and Six Senses brand, the Lucayas Solar Power 9.5 MW facility, currently under construction, exquisite yachts, catamaran center, and planned expansions at the Western Atlantic University School of Medicine, plus other projects such as the major $500 million Grand Bahama Shipyard expansion. Now, the port also detailing multi-million-dollar investments by GBPA in roadworks and beautification of Freeport. It continues that the decline of Freeport's economy must be viewed in the context of past storms and the recent COVID-19 pandemic, and that the green shoots of recovery are emerging while their plans for the city includes more than $1.5 billion of new investment for the island are well underway. Now, the port's standard of service for business licenses and building permit issuance can be compared to the practices of best-in-class world countries worldwide. And the statement adds that the port's responsibility for environmental upkeep and addressing unsightly and hazardous city management and environmental concerns is of utmost importance to their team. Now, Romiko, the Grand Bahama Port Authority agrees that decisive action is required to continue achieve the promise of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, while clearly stating that in their view, such decisive action requires collaboration and partnership with the government so that they can all work together toward the common goal of improving and strengthening Freeport for the benefit of all Grand Bahamians. Live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Quant. Back to you at the desk, Romiko.
Well, thanks, Aja. Meantime, the Chamber of Commerce president on Grand Bahama is tonight responding to the Prime Minister's comments regarding the role of the Grand Bahama Port Authority in Grand Bahama's growth and development prosperity. He says, while he does not believe the Hawksbill Creek Agreement should be discarded, it needs to be revised to be on pace with current economic climates. Raven Davis reports.
You know, the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, which came into being 60, 70 years ago now, it was
for that particular time, but there's so many things that have changed in the world and the Bahamas since then.
Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce President James Carey weighing in on the Prime Minister's budget communication as he proclaimed that the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement's economic model is counterproductive to the prosperity of Grand Bahama. Carey says he'd long been advocating for a review of that 99-year agreement that had been extended in 2015.
I certainly don't advocate the dismantling of the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement or certainly its cancellation. But I do agree that some attention needs to be paid, and there has to be more visible interaction between the government and the Port Authority.
In light of PM Davis's assertion that government will take decisive action on the matter, Carey says the effectiveness of the GBPA had been previously called into question, but there are items that other administrations failed to address.
The whole process of taxation in the port area, the Customs Management Act, which was passed and paused as far as Freeport is concerned, just seems to have, it seems is the term, there hasn't been an appetite for the parties to get together and talk about what is good for Grand Bahama.
Now the Chamber President expresses optimism about the future economic outlook of the island, but stresses that conversation involving all key players is crucial. And as for what must be done to attract more foreign direct investment, here's what he had to say.
The Port Authority currently is out there, particularly in the person of Derek Newbold, sourcing investment opportunities, spreading the message. The Port Authority, if it is to be more definitive, if it could be more definitive about where we're at and where we're going, I think that will contribute more substantially to enticing foreign investment.
He says the message being sent must be clear and consistent across the board. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Reven Davis.
In other news, the complaints of residents regarding unstable power supply on the island have not gone unnoticed. Tonight, our Reven Davis speaks with an official at the Grand Bahama Power Company to bring clarity to this vexing issue. Here's that report.
Frequent power outages on Grand Bahama have left some residents frustrated, while others have called into question the reliability of the Grand Bahama Power Company. Director of Communications at GBPC, Cleopatra Russell, is apologizing for the inconvenience caused by these outages and notes that the company takes seriously its responsibility to delivering reliable power supply to customers.
We've been having some challenges at our energy plant. The team is working feverishly to put together a plan to ensure that our customers receive the best-in-class reliability. We anticipate having the plan finalized in the coming days and about a week.
And once that plan is in place, she says the power company will communicate with customers on the way forward in a bid to rectify these issues and ultimately improve its level of service.
We have been in contact with our regulator and will provide regular updates to the public. We will do our best to keep them informed of any planned outages. We know that the other night we had to make some repairs. During those repairs, we anticipated there being a 3-hour interruption to a small group of customers. Unfortunately, the load at the time was heavier than anticipated, and we ended up having a larger group of customers impacted. We realized that those customers deserved advance notice, and we apologize for that inconvenience.
Ahead of possible future scheduled interruptions, she says customers will be given notice to be able to more adequately prepare.
Encourage our customers to stay tuned to our social media pages as we will ramp up our communication efforts with them to ensure that they are notified in a more timely and efficient manner.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Reven Davis.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news when we come back.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need. And extended hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sometimes you want pizza vibes without the whole dang pie. Now, there's a new way to get the bold flavors of pizza whenever and wherever you want. You just got to try Pizza Hut's new melt in buffalo chicken, meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, and chicken bacon wrap for just $6.99 with that. Pizza Hut's new melts are cheesy, crispy, and loaded. Call us at 352-9191 to satisfy your pizza vibe cravings.
Come and see the cabinets and countertops in stock now at Specialty Kitchen and Bath, number 16 Oak Street, phone 688-9661.
Grand Bahama Stepping Out is now online. Visit their website. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Find them in Nassau at the top of the hill, Mackey Street. Call 394-7100 or WhatsApp 727-9098. Stepping out.
Keep it cool with Bethel's Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, located number 3 Milton Street, phone 602-5467.
The Grand Bahama Independence Committee Road to 50 Independence celebrations continues Friday, June 9th with the Road to 50 party cruise on board Maxis. Boat leaves Port Lucaya 7 p.m. sharp. Tickets are $50. For more information, call 727-2692.
Father's Day is June 18th. Treat Dad to a full buffet brunch in the Grand Lucayan Hotel Ballroom. Brunch is from noon until 4 p.m. Tickets may be purchased at the lobby or call 373-1333 for more information.
Esquire is celebrating Father's Day in grand style. Shop June 1st to 17th and be eligible to win a $1,000 shopping spree. Save 15% off store-wide from June 12th to 17th. Happy Father's Day from Esquire.
The vibe's gonna be up. It's gonna be crazy.
Tina Beach. Holy for vibes. Pull up, chili fire, road to 50. Don't get your thing in order.
We coming to mash up a place. Who drinking rum? I'm drinking. I ain't talking no more. Just watch out for the movie.
I'm Sharon Leonard, owner at Freeport Decorators. Our small, family-owned and women-operated business has been around since 1978. Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from, whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization, so if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
And welcome back. A famous broadcaster out of Dallas, Texas is about to set foot on Grand Bahama's sandy shores for the highly anticipated Dare Future Wifey on Tour conference. Event organizer Karel Pinder says this gathering promised to be a unique and transformative experience for all attendees. Grand Bahamians will be on the panel at Jubilee Cathedral tomorrow night. The podcast is viewed as the #1 podcast in the Bahamas. Well, in other news, as the Labor Day holiday draws near, the Prodigy Group inviting the wider community out to Tino Beach for its 3rd Grand Bahama Powerboat Summer Fest. The festivities kick off at 12 p.m. and the organizers say there is something for everyone to enjoy.
This is something that's going to be fun-filled and exciting for the entire family to come out. We're going to have boat displays starting from 12. There's going to be food. There's going to be entertainment, great music. There's something for everyone Labor Day, and we're inviting the entire island of Grand Bahama to come on out and support this event because it is going to be great. Let me remind you, they're showing commitment to this community by putting on this 3rd event.
Now, with over $5,000 up for grabs, the races are sure to entertain. The day will conclude with a huge soca concert, as tickets can be purchased at the Grand Central Liquors or via the Canoe app. Believing strongly in the event, the sponsors are happy to lend their support.
We at BDC are thrilled to be a part of this Powerboat Summerfest. BDC will ensure that this entire Tino Beach is sufficiently supplied with Wi-Fi.
Persons who purchase their tickets on the Canoe platform will get it at a discounted rate and be able to come and check out and check in at the event.
We're all about community involvement, community partnership. So it was a great pleasure for us to come on board.
This event is designed to provide unforgettable excitement for the entire family. In addition to thrilling races, this event holds special significance as it aligns with the Road to 50 celebrations.
And your Thursday evening check on sports is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to sports, track and field, soccer, basketball. Let's jump right in. Championship game of the Franco Miller Scott Forbes Quinton Hall Big 3 Under-13 Boys Classic between Tabernacle Falcons and Sister Mary Patricia. After a back and forth second half between both teams, it was the Falcons that made the game-winning three-pointer to win the title 23-22.
We know it's going to be tough coming in because of Sister Mary's size. I told the guys if we want a chance to win this game, we had to rebound. We got just the right one at the right time, and we got a big three-pointer and came over with the victory in the end.
Taking MVP honors was Skylar Gardner, who scored a team-high 7 points.
It feels good. All I had to do was knock down my shots and win the game. So my mindset was we just had the rebound, and we had to get the ball and pass it around and get to the basket.
Although Sister Mary lost by just 1 point, Coach Audie Dane says they could have made some adjustments.
Ill-advised short stuff we wouldn't take last 2 games, but I couldn't stop them from doing what they're doing because that's what get them here. So with that being said, I take my hats off the Tabernacle. 1 point, not bad. Being together for so long, my team being together for 48 hours, 96 hours, I think that's a hell of a job.
From the court to the soccer field, LIS shuttled Mary Star of the Sea 2-0 in primary school soccer play.
I was just so proud of my team. We had to change our strategy a little bit in the halftime because they were a very strong offensive team and they were trying to use our goalie's height to their advantage. So we sort of went a little heavier on defense in the midfield, kept our 3 strikers, our 3 attacks up top, and then, and I guess that's kind of what won us the day.
Mary Star coach Park says he's looking forward to a rematch down the road.
I have a program with my boys Wednesdays and Friday where I'm teaching them the game, and they're getting it, but it's going to take time to really know the ins and outs of the games. You understand? But they played well, and hopefully we'll see LIS again because it's a double elimination, so we have to go back to the drawing board again and come back and play them again.
And finally in sports, Abaco native Johnsley Pierre, competing for Lustry Christian High School in the state of Montana, won the state championship in the 300-meter hurdles Class C with a time of 39.98 seconds. Pierre and his teammate Teran Joseph, also from Abaco, ran the 4x1 relay where they captured gold for Lustry Christian. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
New this month at Island Bedding and Furniture. 5- and 7-piece dining room sets. Gorgeous natural wood dining tables and bench sets in mango, acacia, or shisham wood. And your pick of additional chairs. All new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. For the bedroom, we're all about platforms, unbelievable prices, and no box spring required. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe.
We all need to save. Save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop, the new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry.
It's Worship in Paradise, bringing experiences from around the world to the Grand Lucayan Hotel on Grand Bahama, the Bahamas. It's the Barry B. Morris International Music and Fine Arts Conference, Praising 250, featuring Pastor Benita Jones from Atlanta, Georgia, Pastor Emmanuel De Jesus, New Jersey, Pastor Timothy Johnson, Nassau, Bahamas, Minister Valerie Tuttle, Kentucky, Pastor Barry B. Morris, and many others. Come out and be transformed at this 3-day cultural and worship conference with performances by worship teams from Canada, the United Kingdom, Eastern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, Spanish and Creole worship team, the Tabernacle Concert Choir, the Bahamas Public Officers Choir, the Fabulous Cooling Water, Pastor Simeon Out, and the Bahama Brass Band. Registration is $120. The cultural concert is $20. It's the Barry B. Morris International Music and Fine Arts Conference, June 2nd through 4th, 7:30 p.m. at the Grand Lucayan Hotel in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Bahamas. Come out and claim your blessing.
Esquire is celebrating Father's Day in grand style. Shop June 1st to 17th and be eligible to win a $1,000 shopping spree. Save 15% off store-wide from June 12th to 17th. Happy Father's Day from Esquire.
The Grand Bahama Independence Committee Road to 50 Independence celebrations continues Friday, June 9th with the Road to 50 party cruise on board Maxis. Boat leaves Port Lucaya 7 p.m. sharp. Tickets are $50. For more information, call 727-2692.
And culture, we can straight jump canoe, fishing and sailing, just to name a few, free from bondage. That was our heritage. Our nation isn't perfect, there is more work to be done. Forward, upward, and onward towards the rising sun. Yes, we should be proud. It's time to say it loud. Oh, drop your flag, wave it from side to side. Our gold and black represents your pride. Lift your head and say, I'm a proud Bahamian.
They're back! The biggest powerboat summer fest ever! Holy bubbles.
You don't second, Freeport.
Holy people.
The vibe's gonna be up. It's gonna be crazy.
Holy music.
Tina Beach.
Holy vibes. Pull up Chili Fire Road 50. Don't get your thing in order.
We come to mash up the place. Who drinking rum? I'm drinking. I ain't talking no more. Just watch out for the movie.
Nico Nesbitt here from the Fitness Connection. Welcome to Health Bites, where every week we give you a helpful tip to help you on your health and fitness journey. This week we're going to talk about blood pressure, more specifically high blood pressure, and ways that you can lower it. High blood pressure can increase your risk of heart attack, stroke, and aneurysms and other health issues. So let's talk about ways we can bring blood pressure numbers back to normal. Number one, get more rest. Getting between 7 and 9 hours of sleep alone can help to bring those blood pressure numbers down and back to normal range. Tip number 2, avoid stress. Stressful situations, stressful people. I know it's hard with everyday life, but try your best to avoid things that stress you and can raise the pressure. Tip number 3 is you can take some natural supplements. Supplements such as beet powder and magnesium have been shown to help lower those blood pressure numbers. Also, black seed oil has also been shown to be effective. Tip number 4, lower your sodium intake. That's right, cut back on the salt. Make sure you read the labels on your food. Make sure when you cook, you don't use too much salt in your food, and check the other seasons that might have salt added to them, and try to bring those sodium numbers down.
Bad little lady, yeah, she been driving me crazy. When she looking her lips and moving them hips like, come here, baby. I wanna take her down now.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number 1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Louisa Saunders, you are our Facebook friend of the day. She is the birthday girl, and we want to say continue to enjoy your day. Cheers, and also a special happy birthday going out to Grammy Lynn Cartwright. We hope you are enjoying your day as well, and of course, you are a diva. And as we prepare for the holiday weekend, we have a special shout out to the folks at Ash Institute. I hope you guys are watching and had a great day. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, the government builds resilience. The Atlantic hurricane season opens, education changes, and in sports, rough seas hamper Long Island sailing. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is linked up by BTC. Whether it's chatting, gaming, content creating, or working smart to get things done, link up to stay connected with BTC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The government's cautiously optimistic about reaching its targets, but that, of course, barring unforeseen circumstances, like, of course, the tailspin Hurricane Dorian left the country in back in 2019. Lives lost and $3+ billion in the hole. What's troubling is that the Bahamas lies in what Director of the Department of Meteorology, Jeffrey Simmons, says is Hurricane Alley, a reality that begs the question of what protection is there if another monster storm were to strike. Well, countries like the Bahamas have long contributed to the Caribbean Catastrophic Risk Insurance Facility to cushion any such blow. And according to Economic Affairs Minister, Senator the Honorable Michael Alquitas, the Bahamas recently renewed that insurance.
In recent years, there's been a restructuring of the policy, so now that we have a better chance of getting a payout. In previous years, we would pay religiously, we'd get hit by disasters, and we wouldn't qualify. We had a difficulty with that. We sat down with them, we renegotiated, and so now we're in a better position. So if a hurricane hits, the hurricane, in terms of wind damage or flood damage, hits a portion of the country, we're eligible for payout, so that's positive, that's in place. And then, you build for resilience. I mean, so the government is continuing its program of seawalls and infrastructure.
Now, what's also critical is that the government keeps the country's finances in a position to respond.
Why what we're doing is so important in terms of bringing down deficits, making sure we get our revenue collected, keeping our costs down, and so that in the event of the disaster, and we need to move quickly, we can either access money from financial institutions at reasonable rates, or we are able to dip into our resources. And the other thing is we do have still the standby facility with the IDB, $100 million. So in the event, we can access that money quickly for cleanup and restoration immediately. So there are some things in place, and we pray that we have a mild season.
Well, Minister Alquitas' comments coming at the start of the 5-month Atlantic hurricane season that Bahamians and residents are forewarned to take seriously. Vaughn Albury is live at the National Emergency Management Agency's Gladstone Road headquarters. Vaughn?
Yes, Makushla, we are here at NEMA, the National Emergency Management Agency building on Gladstone Road, where officials led by Minister Miles LaRoda implore residents to be prepared for the 2023 hurricane season. It's predicted to be an average hurricane season. Here are the numbers: 13, 6, and 2. 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes. In fact, Dorian in 2019 was 4 years ago, and people there in Abaco and Grand Bahama are still picking up the pieces.
We have avoided the major storms over what would be now going on 4 years, but we can't just pray for luck. Some of the things are in our ability to control, and state of readiness is one of them.
Director of Meteorology Jeff Simmons warns residents not to be lulled by the numbers.
Don't pay attention to the numbers that's actually being predicted, but always be in a state of readiness, because we may only have one storm through that season, and that one storm could actually come our way. So we're asking those of you to be prepared.
NEMA's Captain Stephen Russell says they are building capacity to respond to natural disasters.
This agency has conducted a series of community emergency response team training workshops on various islands to prepare communities to be able to prepare for and respond to disasters. Additionally, the agency worked in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sports and has assisted in training the first cohort of disaster volunteers in the National Youth Guard program, some 60 to 75 persons.
Already, 140 shelters nationally have been inspected, and various agencies and stakeholders are preparing their personnel to respond to disasters.
We have had training for all of our personnel, our shelter management teams, initial damage assessment teams, EOC teams, NEOC teams. Everyone is ready and standing by for any threat that comes our way.
Tree trimming and the clearing of drains is underway. The Defense Force, the police, water and sewage, and BPL are all updating their products, including personnel and equipment.
In Betsy Bay and Abrams Bay, we have 2 standby generators already installed. Crooked Island and Colonel Hill and Long Key, Auckland's, Salina Point, Snug Corner, all of those generators have been installed. We built a system, a pumping station within Abaco in Marsh Harbor that is solarized, has BPL at night and backup standby generators. So the corporation stands ready.
BPL commenced readiness preparations in January 2023. During this period, the company's procurement department engaged in the pre-ordering of materials that will bolster its stock in the event of a major hurricane.
After Dorian, the government outlined plans to build more resilient hurricane shelters. Minister LaRoda was asked for an update.
The first one is still presently under construction in Abaco. There have been some challenges. Those challenges are being remedied as we speak. As funds allow, we will now move into other areas of the Bahamas.
Additionally, Captain Stephen Russell allayed insurance concerns.
I'm advised by the Ministry of Finance that the government of the Bahamas has just recently renewed the insurance premium for the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, the CRIF.
Makushla, some $9 million is allocated in this year's budget for the Ministry of Disaster Risk Management. But the overall message here is be prepared. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I am Vaughn Albury.
In budget news this evening, nearly 68% of the upcoming fiscal plan's targets are fully dependent on expenditure. For the first 9 months of the current budget, that increased by $145.3 million to $2.3 billion. The Davis administration now has to balance the scale to ensure each government, each ministry and agency gets what it wants. And that, alongside other targets it hopes to achieve. Altavis Munnings has the details.
ZNS, Bahamas Air, Bank of the Bahamas, and the Water and Sewerage Corporation. These are some of government state-owned enterprises, basically public-operated agencies in utilities and services sectors. While these agencies benefit from government subsidies, Minister of Finance, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis maintains his government wants state-owned enterprises to succeed, and they're determined to improve transparency, efficiency, and profitability in the way they operate.
We have decreased the budget allocation for SOEs from the previous budget. We will also issue clear expenditure guidelines to SOEs to ensure transparency and financial responsibility in the conduct of their businesses, to ensure that it conforms with the national fiscal objectives. We will also implement a plan to increase revenue by collecting dividends from state-owned enterprises.
Prime Minister Davis has made it no secret that he remains a champion for climate change. He contends even though the Bahamas' carbon footprint is negligible compared to industrialized countries, his administration is committed to reducing the country's carbon emissions.
We are already in negotiations to reduce the carbon footprint of BPL and make electricity more affordable. We are further negotiating a $20 million facility, a solar facility, to encourage the adoption of green technology among small and medium businesses.
Home ownership is another dream many Bahamians want realized. While government has no intention of policing the housing market beyond the necessary checks and balances, Prime Minister Davis admitted some intervention is required to assist those in need.
To address the limited supply of houses, concessions for housing projects have been expanded to non-government entities for projects with a maximum value of $300,000 in construction costs per unit. Moreover, the government has made investments in a rent-to-own program. This budget includes funding to accelerate these efforts.
The Prime Minister insists his government understands that for those who are struggling with day-to-day challenges, they urgently need help and opportunity as well as support. And government's also mindful to step in and step up to help to improve the lives of all Bahamians. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavis Munnings.
Well, the government may be on track to meet its fiscal targets, but Economic Affairs Minister, Senator the Honorable Michael Alkeidas, acknowledges there's still more work to be done. Today, he spoke of increasing government spending by some $12 million next year.
Let me put that in some context for you. Government spending in this upcoming budget, in this fiscal year, is anticipated to be $3.074 billion. Next year, $3.085 billion. All right, an increase of around $12 million. That is less than 1/2 of 1% increase. It's actually 0.4% increase. Less than half of 1%. If you look at it, if you adjust it for inflation, it's actually a cut in spending. So I just want you to keep that in mind when you hear people talk about runaway spending and extravagant spending. Spending in this budget is budgeted to increase by less than 1/2 of 1%.
Well, no taxes and no increased taxes featured high in the 2023-2024 budget, but financial expert Hubert Edwards predicts that if the country is to sustain its robust revenue growth, $2.1 billion was pulled in over 2022-2023's first 9 months. This may unfortunately call for some level of taxation.
One way or the other, we have to feel some pain. We either pay it today or we pay it in the future. So I would rather do it now when it's easier than down the road. My outlook for the Bahamas would be for the government to really pay serious attention, and I'm not saying that they're not serious, but more robust attention to how it's going to reduce the debt. I want to see the Bahamas be in a position, the government be in a position to access more domestic debt. And as a result of that, take the pressure off the international portion, because the international portion is costing us significantly. When you think about it, I think it's about 15% of the expenditure that goes to pay interest of the total budget. And that means that some young person over Baintown or over Fox Hill is missing out on something because of the debt that we have to pay.
Well, a big priority for the government, food security. Agriculture Minister, the Honourable Clay Sweeting, disclosing during today's press briefing that the cultivation centre under construction at the Gladstone Road Agricultural Centre is about 90% complete.
This 12,000 square foot building will house food processing kitchens, a produce exchange, office space, and will be a general resource for food production in the Bahamas. We have also acquired the building to construct a cultivation center in Hatchet Bay, Eleuthera, and we expect that this cultivation center at GRAC will be completed by the end of the month, and in the summer, this summer, we'll be able to break ground on the one in Eleuthera.
Minister Sweeting adding that the Golden Yoke program is progressing well.
And since breaking ground in late February, the team at BAIC have been anticipating the arrival of the new feed mill, which should arrive in about 6 to 8 weeks. And this will be installed at the site at GRAC. The government of the Bahamas has approved the investment of more than $15 million towards the project. And we will also see the construction of 6 grow houses in New Providence, 38 in the Family Islands. Currently, we have completed the renderings for the new feed mill building, and we are finalizing with the quantity surveyor as we speak to move ahead to get the facility built. So when the feed mill arrives in country, we can install it right away.
Meantime, for the first time in more than 20 years, the Bahamas will host the annual Caribbean Agricultural Economic Society Conference. Officials at the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, or BAMSI, will perform that task as agricultural development continues to play a vital role in the livelihoods of people around the world. BAMSI's president, Senator the Honorable Dr. Recia Hepburn Forbes, is excited the conference will propel agricultural and scientific analysis here at home and from the region.
One of the things that we have to do as a nation is ensure that we have research to back up some of the rhetoric. You don't want people to just come out and talk about facts and figures without providing substantial research. And here you have a wide cadre of individuals, not just from the Bahamas, but we are going to highlight and showcase a lot of our researchers. But you have people from the Caribbean, from America, from as far away as China, Brazil, and hopefully some from the UK. So you have a wide cadre of individuals, scientists, researchers, some just technical persons, coming and giving and providing talks on information that they've done research on and sharing with us.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet's so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet's so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine's so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine's so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC. From the experts that created the Kentucky Chicken Sandwich comes the crispy barbecue sandwich. Bacon, cheddar cheese, crispy onions, and the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor. KFC. It's finger-licking good.
Visit the Bahamas. Fly away.
The Aircraft Accident Investigation Authorities investigating the crash of a plane that went down in waters off Andros this afternoon with 5 people on board. The authority says it was notified by Bahamas Air Navigation Services around 3:10 p.m. that a single-engine Piper PA-32 with U.S. registration N3790W was ditched when it encountered problems departing San Andros for Palm Beach. The U.S. Coast Guard among those combing the scene. Here's Chief Superintendent of Police Crystal Skippings with an update.
Information is that a private plane was reportedly en route to West Palm Beach, I think it is. I'm unable to say how many persons were on board at this time, but the plane crashed some 10 miles just north of Andros. And so we do have persons from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force who is en route to that location. Once they get there, they will be able to provide us with updates, along with persons from our Marine unit who are also en route to that location at this time.
Suspected marijuana, $20,000 in cash, and 3 men ages 23, 49, and 60 years old, all now in the hands of Bahimani Police. The seizure comes after Alistown Police Station and Drug Enforcement Unit officers executed a search warrant at a home in Porgy Bay around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The weight and value of the drugs are unknown at this time. Well, a 35-year-old man arrested Wednesday morning in connection with the alleged sexual assault and armed robbery of a woman Sunday night. According to police, the victim was on her Marlborough Street property when the incident took place. Investigations continue. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is now looking into the allegations of rape and abuse against North Abaco Member of Parliament Kirk Cornish. Deputy Commissioner of Police Lehman Delaveau confirming that the police are now waiting for the Office of the DPP to make its determination. Now, as for why the DPP is being consulted in this case, Delaveau says it is standard procedure when it comes to sex-related matters. Cornish was arrested and released on April 27th after a former girlfriend alleged he came to her house on April 4th and forcibly had sex with her. Despite criticism from the accused's attorney that there is an apparent double standard in how people with influence are treated, Delaveau insists that's not the case. Well, the U.S. Coast Guard, following the lead of the Defense Force, and has ended its search for missing American teen Cameron Robbins, who went overboard while on a cruise here in the Bahamas. The Coast Guard noting in a statement that its crew had searched more than 325 square miles while helping the RBDF with search and rescue efforts since the initial report last Wednesday evening. The statement ending with sincerest condolences being extended to the 18-year-old Louisiana teen's family and friends. Robbins was reportedly in the Bahamas celebrating his recent high school graduation. It said he jumped from a pleasure craft on a dare in the area of Athol Island. Meantime, local police today say active investigations into the incident continue. Well, yesterday we shared with you one mental health professional's reasons why some young people opt to join gangs. On the other end is what parents can do to protect their children. Dr. Petra Forbes clues us in.
We need to start intensively in the community and with the family structure. We need to have healthy parenting styles. Parents need to know their children's whereabouts. How many parents don't even know who their child's friends are, or even the parents of those friends? Enroll them in extracurricular activities, right? Occupy their time with positive activities. If you see your child having a lot of monies that you have never given them, they're wearing a certain type of color clothing. Every time they take a photo, they do a certain motion with their hands. Parents need to be aware of that.
In other news, changes to the Bahamas high school diploma that officials say are aimed at ensuring equity and access for students throughout the country. Fern Carey has the story.
Education officials say changes to the Bahamas High School diploma will result in a more inclusive approach to academic credentialing while recognizing the diverse abilities of students nationwide. The diploma was instituted back in 2014 to track and monitor student learning outcomes with 8 minimum graduation requirements that served as prerequisites and performance indicators to earning a diploma. However, it has been met with public outcry for a number of reasons.
Students in grade 10, for example, who obtained a cumulative grade point average of 2 point or more, but earned a D or an F grade without credit recovery opportunity were not eligible for a diploma. Students living on family islands with limited access to programs offered in New Providence were not eligible. Students with special needs and disabilities have limited access to programs. The continuity of education in Grand Bahama and Abaco was negatively impacted by the passing of Hurricane Dorian on September 1st, 2019. Students could not meet the requirements for the Bahamas High School diploma and therefore did not earn a diploma.
Acting Director of Education Dominique McCartney Russell highlighted the following recommendations for the class of 2023 and onwards.
The Commission asked us to remove the 27 credit hours, and those were removed. They asked us to reduce the attendance and punctuality rates from 90% to 80% in order to accommodate extenuating circumstances which are not within the control of students, such as illnesses or a family emergency. For example, a child who has to accompany their parent who had cancer and needed to go to the United States. I want to say, though, we never penalize children in regards to illnesses. Once a parent could bring in a medical certificate, the child was exonerated. Nonetheless, we are reducing the attendance and punctuality rates to 80%.
McCartney Russell added that the 3 parent-teacher conferences have been removed as a criteria for receiving a diploma. However, parents are still encouraged to participate in their children's education. She noted that the 4 BJC passes have been retained, including English and maths. However, students are permitted to submit any 2 other subjects as a requirement for BJC, among other changes. And for the first time, students who have secured certifications in specialized programs will now have their approved certifications recognized on par with national certifications. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Meantime, female students at Telios Christian School got a special visit along with a pep talk from wife of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis, as the school marks Women and Young Girls Day. In line with the event's theme, Davis encouraged the girls during a special assembly to know their worth and not look to others for validation. She called on the young ladies to embrace the mantra to keep themselves grounded and focused, despite what negativity may come their way.
Don't feel worthy enough unless other people tell us, well, listen, I think you're worthy, I think you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. You have to know within yourself your own worth, and do not look for validation and approval, because sometimes people could be telling you something just to flatter you and with ulterior motives. So you yourself have to know your own worth.
Davis, who also toured the school grounds and interacted with male students, further urged the females not to measure themselves by someone else's yardstick.
You should not measure yourselves against the standards set by things like the media, some of your peers who probably don't mean well for you. Don't measure yourselves according to that, all right? You should compare yourself to people like you, people who believe the same beliefs that you have, people who think that they are worthy just like you are. The people that you surround yourselves with should be positive thinking people, always.
The National Report returns in a moment. Stay with us.
By the 50th Independence Secretariat. Go to their website, celebrate-bahamas.com, or their Facebook page, Celebrate Bahamas, to see the schedule of exciting events.
think you can try that new Chinny Chin cheeseburger with it yet, boy?
It's the Chick Chani burger.
Like, sure, it's a sweet chili churn cheeseburger or something like that, boy.
Call it Jimmy Curry burger, but you know who Jimmy Curry is? You never had Jimmy Curry?
No.
Hi, good day. Welcome to my Wendy's.
Hi, good day. Come to try that new Chinny Chin cheeseburger with you on here.
And the Jimmy Cherry cheeseburger.
See, I like to tell you that's what it called.
You ain't say that. Yeah, that's what I want.
It's fresh, garlicky, and tangy. Wendy's new Chimichurri Cheeseburger.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
When you combine decadence, luxury, passion, and attention to detail, you've described Café Channy Noël and Patisserie. Signature authentic French macarons, croissants, pastries for breakfast and lunch will take you on a European Epicurean journey. Enjoy your favorite handcrafted cocktails, coffees, cappuccinos, espressos, and lattes. Life is sweet at Café Channy Noël.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Help is on the way for coral surrounding our beautiful islands that have been affected by the spread of stony coral tissue loss disease.
And I'm hoping together we can get a handle on the stony coral tissue loss disease together, and I'm confident we can.
In May, the Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs, in collaboration with Atlantis Paradise Islands Blue Project Foundation, the University of the Bahamas, and the Perry Institute for Marine Science, signed an agreement for the launch of the Coral Gene Bank at Atlantis.
We are going to create a safe home for these coral refugees, and we are going to ensure the future of Bahamian coral reefs. This crisis has really made us recommit ourselves to our partners and provide the resources needed to establish a facility that will only not house these corals, but we're going to make sure they reproduce, and we're going to reintroduce them back into the wild.
Marine scientists will gather different species of coral from around our many islands and grow them in the gene bank. If the need arises for coral to be replenished, the bank will be ready.
To date, we have surveyed reefs for stony coral tissue loss disease covering over 1,000 kilometers squared across 10 islands in the Bahamas that include Grand Bahama, New Providence and Rose Island, Abaco, Andros, the Berry Islands, Cat Island, Eleuthera, Northern Exumas, Long Island, and San Salvador. Today, we are proud to be instrumental in the creation of the first living coral gene bank for the Bahamas, an essential weapon in the fight against stony coral tissue loss disease.
Former fisherman and now Minister of Marine Resources Clay Sweeting stressed the importance of the gene bank for the livelihood of fishermen and future generations of Bahamians.
Atlantis will provide a safe place for research on the corals through a 1,150 square foot indoor biosecure facility, which currently houses the Coral Towers Fish Hospital. Additionally, the government, and this is our commitment, will work along with the Perry Institute for Marine Science, which will lend its expertise. As one of the leading non-profit organizations that has done extensive research on stony coral tissue loss disease, we trust that their partnership with the government will be highly beneficial. The Institute will also hold non-paid internships that will assist in educating others, this is very important to me, in regards to how we'll play a crucial role in eradicating or at least treating this disease.
For Good to Grow, I'm Giorgio Bain.
On May 1st, 2012, Rubis acquired the Chevron fuel business in the Bahamas, which traded under the Texaco brand. We are now celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Rubis brand in the Bahamas. Rubis has become the fuel brand of choice. However, our 10-year journey was not without challenges. We would like to recognize our dedicated members of staff and thank our customers for their continued support. We look forward to another 10-year milestone as we continue our journey.
Mario thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He almost found out the hard way that if you don't insure your home for the full replacement value, when it comes time to make a claim, you won't get the full payout. It's called the condition of average. If your $200,000 home is destroyed by a hurricane, but you only insured it for $100,000, half the value, you'll only get half of that $100,000 payout. Actually, less than that, because there's also a deductible, which will be deducted from your payout. Check your home insurance policy for the condition of average clause and ask your insurance agent or broker how condition of average would affect you. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
In just 50 days, we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary of independence. And on Sunday, March 21st, an ecumenical service at Evangelistic Temple set the stage for this momentous occasion. Leaders from all Christian denominations gathered to pray for our nation, highlighting the unity of our faith community. The service witnessed the participation of Governor General, the Honorable Cornelia Smith, Prime Minister, Right Honorable Philip Davis, and Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Michael Pintard, emphasizing the significance of our Christian heritage and values. The Bahamas Brass Band and Bahamian gospel singers filled the air with praise through music, while heartfelt prayers were offered for our families, the future of our beloved country, and our youth. This solemn moment allowed reflection on our journey of the past 50 years and inspired hope for a prosperous future. Ultimately, this prayer service was a reminder of our connection to a great God and a more hopeful and prosperous future. You're watching the Independence Beat. Stay tuned for more.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
The Bahamas Male Consortium is looking to empower men on what Dr. Robin Roberts says are positive aspects of manhood and as role models. At a press conference today, group member Dr. Robin Roberts expressed concern about the state of the country, adding that the consortium is a response to the needs to improve the health of men physically, mentally, and socially. He says this is as men have a higher mortality and premature death rate than females and engage in too many violent assaults against females and other males. It's with that in mind that the consortium intends to host several events from June to November, starting with the Men Get Involved Symposium on June 15th at the Gary and Myrtle Curry Youth Center at Evangelistic Temple. The event starts at 6 p.m.
The symposium objectives are: 1, to highlight the involvement and successes of male-based institutions and programs aligned with our mission to raise strong boys and repair broken men to advance a community of caring men. We want to inspire and engage men to become involved in these community programs. we want to interest men to become champions in the Train of Trainers program to redefine our male roles in society, to be free of violence, and to partner for the prevention of gender-based violence.
Roberts says the organization wants to show that men are actively involved in the lives of men and to foster more successful outcomes. He outlined the consortium's other initiatives.
On Saturday, the 18th of June, our male prison ministry will host a Saturday brunch with our residents at His Majesty's Correctional Center. We close out the month of June on Saturday, the 24th, with a Kermit Ford Day. It will be an afternoon to showcase our community youth bands, young musician performers on stage, men participating in board games, the bikers will be on parade, and the antique cars will be on display. In September, the Us Too support group of the Cancer Society of the Bahamas is scheduled to resume our prostate cancer screening program after a 2-year hiatus because of the COVID shutdown.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
This is the super versatile Ring Stick-Up Cam. It goes indoors, outdoors, outdoors in the rain. It's got two-way talk. Hey, Eddie. Works with Alexa. Comes in tons of power options and works with Ring Alarm to start recording automatically if something's going on. Seriously? Seriously. So start protecting your home with the easy installing indoor-outdoor Stick-Up Cam by Ring.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, has your favorites on special like Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Devon corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.69. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 7 1/4 ounce, $1.09. Vitamalt Classic, 10.5 to 12 ounce, $1.29. Case price, $30.96. Yellow onions, 3-pound bag, $2.99. Pork chop ends, $2.49 per pound. Donate your change to help free the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a Sand Dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving Sand Dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your Central Bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever Sand Dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
Straw plaiting might be a dying art, but many Exumians continue to make comfortable livelihoods from it. Here's Charles Fisher, who spoke with 2 champions of straw plaiting during the Barry Tarry Regatta and Homecoming Festival.
It's normally the highlight of the festival, the straw plaiting contest, and it features both men and women in the traditional island craft. Jeff showing that using every part of your body takes it to make it right. This takes lots of skills, and when the measurements were all done, coming out the winner was Therese Clark Black from Forbes Hill.
It's something that I love doing.
on my spare time at home, I always, yesterday my husband said, why you like planning so much? It relaxes you, it takes all the stress away from you, and just makes you feel good.
She's been doing this for over 50 years, and she's a bit of a show-off.
When I see y'all was looking around, I said, look at y'all and still wave.
Yeah, you look comfortable out there.
Yeah,
and you're looking at your competitors as well.
Yes. And see how they were doing, if they were going faster than I am and all of that.
Then after all the rolls are done, then it's this thing called tripping the plot. This too, as simple as it looks, takes skills, and winning was hometown girl Charlene Lloyd.
I win last year and I win this year, and I would win again.
What goes in it? Because look like you just cut with a knife.
It's my everyday occupation. From I was 5, I was doing this, and I'm still doing it. At 73.
Okay, I was looking at a competition before you was plotting it. This one was stripping this. What after this, or is it ready for market after this?
No, you have to. You decide what you want to do with those plots. I either make straw bags, straw hats, chain purses, and any other things, and I make all of them.
This craft being mostly done by the older persons of the settlement.
You know, the young people have this word, they're not checking for it. They look at this hard work and, they want to go in our office, but money is there. Money is in straw.
How long does it take to learn this?
No, man. I could teach you right now and you'll have it. 7 screen, you'll have it. And I'm not joking.
We'll take up on that offer next time. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Charles Fisher.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil. The start of hurricane season is here.
Absolutely, and we already have a depression on the way. We'll tell you all about that later in the newscast, so do stay tuned. But right now, we have some light rain, temperature at 84 degrees, relative humidity 70%. We have north-northwest winds at 7 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,010.6 millibars, that's 29.84 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 82 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Grand Toll Key, and Marshall Babico. The Berry Islands at 83, Isle Sound, Bimini, 84 degrees. Harbor Island, they have a temperature of 83, 84 in Roxanne, Eleuthera, Black Point, Exuma, Camp Space at Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros at 85 degrees. 82s in Artistan, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma at 83 degrees. 83s again in Ragged Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay at 85, Ackless 85, Matthewtown and Niagara also reporting 85 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 84. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwest and central islands tonight through tomorrow, those light and variable winds will remain in place with flat seas 1 to 3 feet over the ocean. A low tide will take place at 1:09 in the morning. The high tide will occur at 6:55 tomorrow morning. Now for the southeast bombers through Friday, southeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. But as we take you into Saturday, the winds will continue light and variable, but only for the northwest Bahamas with those 1 to 3 foot seas. High tide 7:42 in the morning, the low tide at 1:45 in the afternoon. Now in the central and southeastern islands on Saturday, the winds become southwest at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights picking up 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. For your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
For centuries, Bahamians have been known as masters of the sea. From the Lucayans and Arawaks, swashbuckling pirates, quaint workboats to meticulously crafted sloop race boats, Bahamians have evolved the sport of sailing as it plays an integral part of our culture. For more than 70 years, Bahamians have displayed passion and grit for the sport, and it is one that has bridged the gap between young and older Bahamians. We are proud to anchor sailing as the national sport of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corval Pye from the Sandlands Rehabilitation Center, and exciting news about the upcoming 12th annual Push-a-thon for geriatrics. Cynthia Mother-Pratt, the Deputy to the Governor General, will serve as patron of this event, and BTC is on board as the event's title sponsor.
12th year, I love the theme. Push On Bahamaland, Public Hospitals Authority, Sandlands Rehabilitation Center, putting this on for our senior community. Senior community is a part of our community, right? And we stand on their shoulders for what they have delivered for this country. And so this is integral to us as a company. This is why we exist, is to connect with communities.
All class of people, all right, they must know what Sandlands Rehabilitation Center is all about. And so with this push-a-thon, I think now it has brought an awareness. BTC is a major company in this country. I call BTC a giver. They've always been supportive of events that you're doing that is helping to build our nation.
Geriatrics, yes, can be overlooked, not only within the healthcare system itself, but also by the community and the world in general. And we recognize for older persons to stay involved with their community, we need to keep them physically active. We are so grateful for BTC's support in the way they have and their continued support, because BTC has always been with us for the 12 years. But their support has grown over the years, and we are especially thankful for that.
We know that this is our country's 50th year of independence. We're celebrating under the theme Push On Bahamaland. And so we want all people from all over our islands, to come join us for this push-a-thon. We are just so thankful to BTC for being our title sponsor, because of BTC, this event can happen with so many new wheelchairs, so many amazing resources, and then that partnership and that actual human resource, that human support means so much to us as well.
It's not too late to register to participate. The Push-a-thon takes place this Saturday, June 3rd, beginning at 6:15 a.m. here at the Sandlands Rehabilitation Center campus in Foxville. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pye. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection.
On May 1st, 2012, Rubis acquired the Chevron fuel business in the Bahamas, which traded under the Texaco brand. We are now celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Rubis brand in the Bahamas. Rubis has become the fuel brand of choice. However, our 10-year journey was not without challenges. We would like to recognize our dedicated members of staff and thank our customers for their continued support. We look forward to another 10-year milestone as we continue our journey.
If you've got termites and need to get rid of them fast, trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
In just 50 days, we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary of independence. And on Sunday, March 21st, an ecumenical service at Evangelistic Temple set the stage for this momentous occasion. Leaders from all Christian denominations gathered to pray for our nation, highlighting the unity of our faith community. The service witnessed the participation of Governor General, the Honorable Cornelia Smith, Prime Minister, Right Honorable Philip Davis, and Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Michael Pintard, emphasizing the significance of our Christian heritage and values. The Bahamas Brass Band and Bahamian gospel singers filled the air with praise through music, while heartfelt prayers were offered for our families, the future of our beloved country, and our youth. This solemn moment allowed reflection on our journey of the past 50 years and inspired hope for a prosperous future. Ultimately, this prayer service was a reminder of our connection to a great God and a more hopeful and prosperous future. You're watching the Independence Beat. Stay tuned for more.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome
welcome to your Wednesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles. Today marked the beginning of the heavily anticipated 2023-2024 budget communication. Opening debate in the House of Assembly this morning would be the nation's chief, the Honorable Philip Davis. During his contribution, he reiterated his administration's commitment to continuing to bolster the country's sports tourism product.
As a part of our commitment to investing in young people, sports, and the arts, we have also budgeted to host major international sporting events, such as Grifter Swimming, Grifter Triathlon, and the World Relays. The hosting of these sporting events plays a crucial role in our Sports in Paradise initiative, as it not only celebrates athleticism, but also creates a platform for aspiring Bahamian athletes to shine.
Prime Minister Davis also highlighting several infrastructural developments to sports facilities set to take place in the coming months.
You may be aware of my long association with swimming, so it will come as no surprise that I'm very excited that we have made provision in this budget to construct a 50-meter pool in Grand Bahama. And to develop Family Island sports facilities. The facility in Cat Island is already near completion and serves as a benchmark for other facilities throughout the Bahamas.
The National Family Island Regatta has a new man at the helm, and our Charles Fisher recently caught up with him to see how he's settling into his new role.
Just a little over a month on the job, the newly minted Commodore of the National Family Island Regatta, Dallas Knowles, so to speak, is still getting his feet wet.
A lot of things that we want to try to implement as far as changes to some of the organization behind the regatta, the race committee, and some of the ways the races are run. So there's ways we want to improve, but it's a slow process. So we're going to take our time, and it's always good to come out here to Barataria to the smaller regattas, because we really feel this is what sloop sailing is about, the small local atmosphere. So we want to find a way where the National Family Island Regatta can help boost and support these smaller regattas and help them run their regattas to the best of their ability and make things easier for them.
Sailors are known to be a vocal group, and concerns have already been hoisted.
I think a lot of people want to see transparency, so they want everything to be up front and on top of the board. When there's penalties and there's issues, they want all that to be in the open. They want that resolved quickly. People don't like when information isn't readily available and they feel like people are making decisions and not informing other people. Not that, the committee has... Clyde and Danny have done a fantastic job with the regatta. There's no doubt about that. So I think people are excited for some fresh ideas and some new people running some of the races and things. I'm looking to run the races in Georgetown next year. I'm trying to get a new team around me. Some of the older guys and some of the newer guys are going to be coming in. So we're looking to make it more efficient. We're looking to make it more professional, and we just want everybody to feel like when they come to a regatta in Exuma that it's going to be treated with the utmost importance, that it's going to be professionally run, and the sailors are going to be treated with the most respect that they deserve.
Then there comes the question of the boats being more recognized and the idea of logo on sails.
It's one that definitely needs to be addressed. Right now, logos are allowed on sails, but they have to pay a fee. So it is possible for a business, a sponsor, to have their logo on a sail in Georgetown Regatta, but they have to pay an entrance fee. So what people are looking for is maybe that entrance fee being waived in the future, where companies have free reign to put what they want on the sails and they get more bang for their buck, so to speak. But private sponsorships, corporate sponsorships are going to be key to growing regattas and making them flourish. So that's definitely something we're going to look at. We want businesses to feel free to give their money to regattas and sloops and encourage them to sponsor the local boats. And we want to make sure that they're getting a good return for that, for sure.
In our continued conversation with Knowles, he will speak on the image change for sailing now that it is the national sport of the Bahamas. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
The bikes will be out on the road in Grand Bahama this weekend as the Bahamas Cycling Federation holding its national championships. President Roy Colebrook on what we can expect.
We're going back to what we used to do in the past, where we take our nationals into the different islands. Also, as you know, New Providence now is almost congested with vehicles and cars and everything, and this event is so big until we had to take it over into Grand Bahama. It's going to be a very exciting weekend down in Grand Bahama. We have almost 60 competitors here from Nassau going over to Grand Bahama, and you have Eleuthera, you have the other islands who would be also joining us there in Grand Bahama.
Traditionally an Independence Weekend staple, things move up a bit earlier due to the Bahamas games. Colebrook, on what divisions will be competing?
Relates to our nationals, we'll be having our nationals starting from our masters straight down to our kids. And so that's very important for the Bahamas Cycling Federation. We continue to strive for excellence in our sport. We have a lot of new and upcoming exciting youngsters in the sport of cycling, and they'll be able this weekend to showcase their talents and to be crowned national champion.
An Amazing martial artist continuing to excel in Taekwondo over in Japan, as Ayame Miller recently retaining her Prefecture of Fukuoka champion in the ladies' first class division over in Japan. The 16-year-old competed against several other Taekwondo practitioners that were actually much older than her, one opponent being 21 and the other 23. As for Miller, she just turned 16 last week. She recently returned home and had an opportunity to visit the Prime Minister and present him with a gift from Japan. That was a look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Centuries, Bahamians have been known as masters of the sea, from the Lucayans and Arawaks, swashbuckling pirates, quaint workboats to meticulously crafted sloop race boats. Bahamians have evolved the sport of sailing as it plays an integral part of our culture. For more than 70 years, Bahamians have displayed passion and grit for the sport, and it is one that has bridged the gap between young and older Bahamians. We are proud to anchor sailing as the national sport of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Tune in to this station for a rebroadcast of a press conference hosted by the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training with stakeholders in education to announce the recommendations adopted by the Review Commission to amend the criteria of the Bahamas High School Diploma on Sunday, June 4th at 7:30 p.m.
Our road to 50 Bahamas promotion by using any service at Lighthouse Point, and you could win 5 free nights. And this summer, when you book 3 nights starting on a Friday or Saturday, we'll throw in Sunday for free. Yes, enjoy a fabulous Sunday on the beach with your 3-day Friday or Saturday booking at Lighthouse Point. Call 242-373-1333 for reservations today. Lighthouse Point.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather on day 1 of the tropical cyclone season, a reconnaissance aircraft flew into this area of low pressure late this afternoon and discovered that it do have a closed circulation with maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, making it a tropical depression. Now, we expect it to intensify slightly during the course of the night and tomorrow, and it could become a tropical storm later tonight or tomorrow as it drifts towards the south. Eventually, it will move over western Cuba by Saturday, where it will encounter some strong upper-level winds, and that will lead to it degenerating over the weekend. So it will be a short-lived system if it does develop. Meanwhile, troughing across the Bahamas continue to support pockets of showers and thunderstorms, which will continue again right into the weekend. Tonight, we're looking at mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms later on, with a low temperature of 78 degrees. And tomorrow, periods of clouds and sunshine, a couple of showers again, particularly during the late morning and early afternoon hours, with your high temperature reaching about 85 degrees. Extended weather forecast off and on rains, but they will be a little bit more heavy and scattered on Saturday. And then come Sunday, those winds, those rain showers should break up just a bit, so they'll be more of an isolated nature. But by Monday, early part of the week, we'll see more sunshine working its way into our forecast, with temperatures remaining in the upper 80s during the daytime. Kishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.